Sweet.
Okay.
Here we are, 1 week later.
Yeah.
Another week has passed. We're closer, that much closer to death.
Great. It's currently scheduled to end on the 7th.
This week, I got something.
Mm-hmm.
This week I stopped doing things by myself in my business. I have been trying to start this business for like years, and with mixed results, and it's always been my thing. And this week Geneva and I chose and are creating now that we're going to create it together. And it's been super challenging to let this, my baby, kind of like sharing my process and sharing what I'm doing around my business. And I think that's something that mirrors a theme in our marriage and our relationship. And I think all men go through this, is like when you start to get close with a woman, there's a sense of losing your freedom or losing your independence. Like, you remember when I talked to my mom and I was like, I can't see you anymore.
Well, you didn't say that, but you said you were going to need to back off.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so we were getting close, like Geneva was staying over at my house, and then I had this conversation with my mom. And after that conversation, I was like, Geneva, I need to back off. And there was this overwhelming sense, but before I said that, for me, there was this overwhelming sense of like, whoa, I need to put the brakes on, like, this is getting too close, like I'm losing a piece of myself, was what it felt like. But that feeling was totally not, it's a feeling. And it was a feeling of a type of death, a type of letting go of a way that my life had been forever. And now I'm going to share my life with somebody. And so this week I went through another layer of that, of like releasing and allowing myself to be seen by Geneva, and allowing the flaws or the shortcomings in the way that all of it just to be born open. Here I am.
I can see how that would be a lot, or like a big deal.
It's not a bad thing to allow that to happen. And in fact, it can be very productive and facilitate a lot of growth in one's life. Just speaking to men out there who are like maybe in relationships or considering getting into relationships, by letting yourself go and be with another person and sharing yourself entirely. Like, that is how life gets born. That is how like your life will eventually, it leads to an expansion in your life rather than a contraction. And it can feel like a sacrifice, or like I'm giving up my independence, I'm giving up, like I'm losing the game, like losing my manhood or something like that. But it's not that, and it leads to expansion.
From my side, I think it provides the same thing, because like logistically, one of the ways that this happened, or we did this, was Thomas showed me a list of pieces of inspiration, message ideas, like what he would want to say to people, what he wants to say to people, all sorts of things, like just everything related to this business that he's been collecting for years, right? And he gave me the list, and I'm sorting it into this new document that we're going to work off of. So I get to see everything that's gone through his mind about this.
All the little inspirations that have come and come into my brain at any particular moment in time.
Yeah, some of them are really complete thoughts, and some of them are just jotted down notes that like aren't complete yet, and
don't make sense.
Some of them, there's some typos, and it's like, and it's something that is so central for him, what his life is about. And I am really moved for you to let me into that. I'm left with that you're brilliant and a genius, and why didn't we do this earlier?
Thank you.
And I think maybe you've been afraid that I wouldn't react that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been super afraid. I came in last night, and I had just finished practicing Qigong and kind of moving my body outside, and I just felt like, oh my gosh, the way I've been creating this is all wrong. I'm way more than a personal trainer. like that's not that like this that
It's
just
not the
doesn't
full
work.
picture.
It just doesn't paint the full picture of what I do and who I am in the world. And so I just felt like, oh my gosh, but I can't share it. Like I felt like I couldn't share it with Geneva. And so I literally came in and was just like crying on the floor, like feeling like I can't be accepted for who I am. And I'm sure, I'm not the only one I know
Yeah.
who deals with that kind of thing. Like if I really show myself, if I really share myself with people, they're gonna reject me.
One of the things we've been running into is if I ever told you that I think what you're doing is great, or gonna work, or really valuable, or something people would want to hear, I don't think you could hear me say that. I may let me know if this is true for you, but I don't think you could hear me say that because you had held on to it, so like I couldn't really know.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And-
And that's like part of the whole mechanism of this thing is like
Yeah.
you keep people on the outside and then they have no say, they don't really know. You're just like, you get to be this cold and stoic and independent person, and it's like,
Yeah.
it can be harmful to us. Like as men, we can feel alone, and sure, there's an aspect of that we're always going to feel like we're alone in life, or like, because
That's not just a man thing.
it's not just a man thing, that's an everybody thing. But from the flip side, when you're in a relationship with someone and you're like putting up that wall, it's tormenting.
And it's kind of frustrating because it's really obvious when it's happening. Because like otherwise you're very warm and like loving, and I've just been like not sure how to tell you like,
Yeah.
hey, you're doing that thing again, because I get like offended by it and then get into a whole different thing. But I feel really like you've equipped me to actually support you now,
Yeah.
because you are letting me see what this really is, what you really want to do, what we're really going to be up to, and I can I can tell you're listening to me when I tell you it's good.
There was that moment last night. We were sitting here. I was sitting at the desk behind the camera, and Geneva was sitting here on the couch, and she was sorting through this list, and she was just like, "You're a genius." And at first, I was like, "What?" I just don't let that in. It's like the irony of the whole thing. It's like by blocking people out, on the one hand, you get to like be above anybody's criticism, and nobody gets to really see what you're doing. So you're like, no one gets to understand, and no one understands, and you can be like this righteous. There's a righteousness that's there. And then on the flip side, nobody gets to acknowledge your greatness. And you never get to be truly for yourself that you are great, and that other people see you as great and you are making a contribution. So last night it was like, I was just tearing up, just seeing how like, whoa, like these ideas, someone is likes them, and like with sharing it out on the internet and with people, that's gonna keep coming up, right? But
Yeah, I'm sure.
having dealt with that in our relationship beforehand and now dealing with it again, it's like I'm building a muscle of being like sharing myself authentically, being free and at ease and relaxed, and that's something that I definitely have not been in the past, of just like letting myself be out there.
Yeah.
Something that I'm taking on is I'm going to be posting selfies now from
Oh,
time to
yeah.
time, because I never do that. I posted on Facebook, I was like, what kind of content do you guys want to see more from me? And they were like, he was like, selfies! Exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point, selfies! And I just discovered like, oh my gosh, I never do that, because it's like, there's this serious thing at play, and I'm like going out, like this week, like what I'm up to is like breaking that apart and just like letting myself really be free and just go out there. And if everybody, isn't like, people will react how they react, but like I'm gonna say my message, I'm gonna shine my torch, and that's gonna be that.
And now we're doing it together.
And I get to do it with somebody. We get to do it together.
Yeah.
Sophie's still not back.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think this week has been a process of dealing with that. Obviously, there's still a chance that she does come back. I mean, the reality we have right now is she's not here. So, without like worrying if we start living like she's not coming back, will she really not come back? Or, you know, kind of like if we process that she's gone, will she really be gone? That's kind of my fear. And the truth is she's not here right now. I'm happy about what we've done with that this week.
We've been giving Harrison, our other cat, a lot of love, and he's been loving us.
Yeah, he's changed his behavior. It's kind of funny. One of the most notable things is every day Sophie used to sleep under the covers with us for not the whole night, but just maybe she'd crawl in there in the morning and be there for like an hour or something. And Harrison has started doing that, and he almost never did that before, and he would never stay for very long. So it's really interesting to see what's changing about him. I think it kind of goes to show that we're all trained in certain ways
Yeah.
to do certain things, and when there's an opportunity or like an opening to do something else, we really might do something else.
Yeah, that's so on point. That is so on point, especially given the way so many people, ourselves included, circumstances have changed with shelter in place and
Yeah.
working from home. Like,
Yeah, and I don't know if I can really say it correctly right now, but like one of the things I'm realizing about this business is like we could have done this all along. I think just we weren't willing or quite clear or like free to, like there was something in the way, and a lot of these circumstances have taken a lot of those things out of the way. I guess more than anything, I'm just really discovering that it's possible.
Me too. Me too.
Like it's possible for us to run our own business and for it to work and be really fulfilling and provide something really great and to really work. Like it's possible.